This is the Big Red Rally. TNT, join the PNM at our Big Red Rally.
And ladies and gentlemen, one more time, put your hands together. Here comes the Malik folk performers.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the People's National Movement Big Red Rally. We are broadcasting live here from the Hart grounds, and I'm Sarah Rade. Thank you guys very much for joining us, making it just in the nick of time.
Yes, thank you, Sarah.
Mr.
There was
Steele.
traffic coming up the Eastern Main Road. It took a lot of time to get here, but I'm glad I made it on time. Sarah, the crowd is building. It is red and ready. Everyone seems excited. This is so exciting. We're back here again in less than 48 hours. People will start going to the polls. And the PNM has been talking about our policy over the past month. We were last together in the Savannah when we launched.
That's
And
right.
every single night we've been out there talking about our local reform, our local government reform. We're red, we're ready. Reform, make it real. It's been very exciting.
Exactly. You mentioned a month ago we were at the Savannah. We saw 137 candidates. They were presented to you guys. We also representing 14 different corporations, some new faces, some familiar faces, and we also saw them taking to the streets, meeting the public, finding out what were the concerns of members of the community, and that encompasses the local government reform, what the People's National Movement has put forward.
It does, sir. Actually, we have 90 new candidates, 90 first-time candidates out of 137. I've been walking in the Port of Spain area. I've walked in Chaguanas, I've walked in Sandy Grande. It is a lot of movement on the ground. People are saying, they've given PNM a chance. They're ready to give us another chance at the local government level. So I'm really looking forward to today.
Stuart, I want to ask you a simple question. What is the importance of Monday? What is the importance for us citizens to come out and vote?
Sarah, the importance of Monday and why people must come out, even though it's a local government, is for the first time in Trinidad, we have a movement where we're looking to devolve power. So for it to happen on the ground, and for councillors and aldermen to actually have the power to get things done. And it's very important for us on Monday for people to come out, because we want people to show the country, to giving the PNM a mandate to continue with our local government reform and to continue trying to make the lives of citizens better and better on a daily basis.
I know one thing that the PNM is strong behind and what they're extremely proud of is this new reform. They're trying to modernize and transform the local government system. And can you give me a little history behind the reform?
Yes. Sarah, before we started drafting, and we're in the process of drafting legislation now, we had 14 public consultations with every single corporation. 15 we actually went to Tobago where this system exists. So what we're looking at doing is giving people power to collect taxes, giving people power to deliver social services, use local contractors in the areas, award contracts to those people whose lives will be affected right there on the ground.
Right.
This is a very powerful movement away from central government and allowing those councillors and aldermen and corporations to make the lives of those around them better.
All right. Some persons may not really understand, or they may not fully grasp the understanding of the reform, of what the PNM is trying to do with the different corporations. Can you, in a nutshell, break that down for the average person who may not fully understand?
Absolutely. As it exists now, Sarah, central government still has a lot of power in how corporations spend money, the kind of projects they do, etc. What you're looking now to do is give the corporations the power to decide what are the projects for them. Should we pave this road or should we pave that road? As opposed to somebody in Port of Spain and central government saying, well, pave that road in Sinapuna, pave that road in Sansan, pave that road in Samaria. No, corporations in those areas will now decide how to spend their own resources.
And I personally am impressed with that policy that's being put forward and reform. Because basically, from my understanding, is that each council, each area will be responsible in way funds are allocated and what is being done in the community. So more autonomy is based on the particular council, on the council.
And small things there, like the schools in your area, schools in your corporation, you now maintain it. So every summer vacation, every Christmas vacation, Easter vacation, the corporations will go about making sure everything is ready for the children in their area. So it's really about giving the people on the ground the people who have to deal with it on a daily basis, the power, right? Giving them the financial power, the decision-making power to decide how to better the lives of their burgesses, as we call them.
You said so much, you encompassed everything, a lot of things that is falls under the local government reform, and that's why we're telling you, come Monday, Monday the 28th of November, vote for a change that you can feel. And this is something that I can see, I can see it happening, because
Ladies
most
and gentlemen,
times we vote
welcome
against
to the
something.
Big Red
It's
Rally,
time that we vote
PNM
for
Big
something.
Rally.
Vote for the reform. Vote for a change that you can actually see, a change
My name
that
is
you can
Hansi
feel.
Beans,
You
and
can
indeed
vote
it
for
is
your
my
councillor.
pleasure
You can
to
get
be a
things
host
done
for
in a
this
shorter
afternoon
space
into
of
this
time.
evening.
That's right.
Let's see
You're
who we
very,
have
very
here.
right, sir. So it's very important everybody comes out to vote on Monday, the 28th of November, this coming Monday. And as you say, you're not voting against. PNM has been saying you're voting for something. You're voting for reform. You're voting to change your own life on a daily basis. And I keep trying to emphasize that, Sarah. You're voting for reform.
That's right, and the
Martin
councillors
Regional
now, they
Corporation,
have
where are
more
you?
autonomy, a little more power, so they can
Port
make
of
decisions
Spain.
in a shorter space of time. So for instance, where
Tuna,
decisions
Puna,
could have
Pienco.
probably taken months or even
We the
weeks,
area
if you have an
represent.
issue and you go
And
to your
Sandra Grande,
corporation,
where are
your councillor,
you?
things are going to be done
boy.
in a shorter space of time,
Big
less
team
bureaucracy.
from the east.
So it makes your life
So
better.
before
Vote for a
we
change that
formally start
vote for
the
something
rest of
that is
this
real.
afternoon's
You can see it on the
presentation,
streets, you can
I
feel it
beg
in
you
your
all
daily life,
to
and this is what the
direct
local
your
government
attention
reform
to the
is bringing to
stage
you.
for our
And that's why we can't
invocation.
emphasize
And we
enough,
pray and
November
put some
28th,
blessings over
vote
this
for a
afternoon's
change that you can
event.
feel, vote for the People's National Movement.
Thank you, Sarah. Vote for local government reform being brought to you
That's
by
right.
the People's National Movement
Yes.
on Monday. We're really looking forward to it. Folks.
That's right. A vote for the PNM is a vote for reform. A vote for reform is a vote for the PNM. So guys, make it real. It's all about November 28th. And that's what, 2 days away?
It is. It's less than 2
Less
days
than 2
away.
days
That's
away,
right.
yes.
So this time, 48 hours from now, people would have been at the polls for many, many hours. It's now 20 to 4, so they would have been at polls since 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, that's right. And Stuart, let me tell you something. I've been here personally. I came here at 12 o'clock
Wow.
because I said I know it's going to have a lot of traffic. So I got here at 12 o'clock, and vendors, you're seeing the buses are coming in, music trucks are coming in. People are just pouring in here at the Etihad grounds, and I'm telling you guys, it's going to be exciting. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to hear the keynote speaker, the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley. I saw a lot of performances backstage. I peeked a little bit, yes. So a lot of big names in the industry. So you guys, if you're not here, you're missing out. But that's okay, because we're going to keep you on track on what's going on, all right?
Sarah, I'm not singing tonight. I've told them I'm not going to sing.
Why? No, stay on, listen to me. You are going to be... Why you want to do the public that?
Not
They
at
want
all.
to see it. They want to see you perform.
Sarah, there are a lot of performers, as you said. We have a great lineup. And as you say, as we sit here, we're seeing more and more people
Yes.
pouring in. I know there are motorcades all over the country from the 14 various corporations. And this is the melting pot. This is where we're all meeting. We have them saying invocations on stage now, praying. The various religious backgrounds are saying their various prayers. And then here it is, Sarah. It's all happening here today as we get ready to go to the polls on Monday.
Right. We had a lot of performances previously as well. We saw some dance group, we saw Calypsonians. It is amazing here, and it's all for the reform. It's all for local government reform presented by the PNM, all right?
So people,
Sabari, where are you?
we're counting on you on
Prince
Monday the
of Storm,
28th
we
of
love you,
November.
Lord, where are you?
Don't become complacent.
Solomon,
Don't take
where are
anything for
you?
granted. Come out, exercise your civil right to
My name is
vote.
Hansi
There are
Beans,
many,
and
many
with
people
me,
who don't have that
Laurel
right. And come and make a
Lezama,
difference.
sing
As
your
Sarah
potential
says,
for Laurel.
this is a time you're voting for something. You're voting for local government reform to allow your councillors and your aldermen more power, more decision making, more financial autonomy for you in your various districts.
Are you ready to vote for change that you can feel?
All right, so Hans just took the stage with his co-host, and we're going to also see the candidates as well. 137 candidates. We're going to get to see them again.
Correct.
All right?
100% of
So
So
let's
let's
go
take
to
it-
the stage, Sarah.
Yes, we need to take it stateside, all right?
Wanted to see a better system of local government reform. So this afternoon, as we wrap up our campaign, you will hear from some dynamic speakers who will let you know how you can make this change real. In 2002, Franklin Can successfully contested the Ottawa Mayaro seat for the People's National Movement, and he went on to become one of this country's most outstanding ministers of works and transport. In September 2015, he was appointed a senator, leader of government business in the Senate, and Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, before moving on to the Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs. He has been pivotal over the past 14 months in leading the charge for local government reform, and more so, in laying a solid foundation for this reform that you and I will be voting for on November the 28th. He is currently serving his third term as our party's chairman. Eddie Hart grounds, let's welcome the Honorable Franklin Can.
Reconnect and rebuild the community. Realize the reform is for you and me. Reinvigorating and reinventing our local democracy. November 28th, vote autonomy. 4 PNM is for you and me.
Political leader of the People's National Movement and Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley and Mrs. Sharon Rowley. Deputy political leaders of the PNM, members of cabinet, members of parliament, both from the upper and the lower houses, officers of the movement. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear a lusty round of applause for our 137 distinguished PNM flag bearers who will be leading the charge in this local government election. Party supporters, well-wishers, members of the media, members of the protective services, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Red Army, are you still red and ready? Are you ready to give the serial loser, Kamala Prasad-Visesa, her eighth successive cocktail? And we will be putting her in the Guinness Book of World Records. Then you are ready to go out on Monday, November the 28th and cast your vote solidly for the People's National Movement. But as the saying goes, ladies and gentlemen, drunk or sober, mind your business. Don't leave it up to chance. Make sure on Monday morning you get up, you go with your family, your friends, your neighbors to your polling booth and cast your vote for the People's National Movement. My PNM brothers and sisters, it is indeed an honor and pleasure as your party chairman to welcome you to our final rally in yet another election. And to remind you that the PNM is the only political party to have contested every seat in every election, both local and general, in both Trinidad and Tobago. Let's hear a round of applause for your party. This is probably the proudest record of this great 60-year-old party. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the PNM always gives the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago an option. And today, we present to you the best option for this local government reform and for this local government election. And we present to you that 137 distinguished candidates who, I can tell you, the PNM leadership is very proud of. But ladies and gentlemen, as we wind down this local election campaign, I want to tell you that this may well turn out to be the most pivotal local government elections in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Because you will be voting for fundamental reform of the local government system. Let me now walk you through this journey and to how we got here and why the PNM has latched its wagon on this reform exercise. You will recall that when we demitted office in 2010 and Dr. Rowley was appointed political leader, we did not sit idly by as the UNC is doing now. we started to plan and strategize. We did a lot of introspection. And ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you the two fundamental thoughts that were in the political leader's mind when he envisaged this local government reform. The first of this was when Dr. Rowley looked at the UNC expenditure profile over the years 2010 to 2015. It averaged $60 billion a year, totaling a phenomenal $300 billion in a 5-year period. And we asked the question, did you get $300 billion worth of service delivery to you? Granted, they stole a sizable portion of that money. But even so, were people receiving basic services in this country? Did you get better roads, better garbage collection, better social service delivery? The answer is a resounding no. So Dr. Rowley concluded that, ladies and gentlemen, there must be something fundamentally wrong with our service delivery model. The second issue that crossed his mind, being a Tobagonian, and every time he goes home to Tobago on a weekend, he will say, despite its challenges, things work better in Tobago. Their roads are better than ours. Their environment is cleaner. Their public buildings are better kept. When you go to Tobago, ladies and gentlemen, as you land, you can feel the difference. You can feel the superiority of their service delivery. And also in Tobago, you know who is accountable. Good, bad, or indifferent, somebody is in charge of their specific portfolio. With these two thoughts in mind, he conceptualized this idea of fundamental local government reform. And you'll be seen reflected in our 2015 manifesto. And I quote, the PNM's vision for local government seeks to remove all red tape and bureaucracy that prevents local government bodies from doing their work in an effective and efficient manner. Then we went ahead and we outlined 9 specific areas for consideration. So ladies and gentlemen, this local government reform exercise is based on 3 basic principles, 3 fundamental principles. The first is autonomy. And autonomy is the ability to make certain policy decisions that affect your corporation. The second basic concept is devolution. Devolution brings responsibility and more responsibility for service delivery, now controlled by central government, into the hands of local government. And thirdly, ladies and gentlemen, accountability. In this case, single point accountability. Because as you all know, somebody must be in charge and somebody must be held responsible for service. For better or for worse, for success or for failure, but we have to know who is responsible for what. We want that clarity of vision. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the tripod on which we have based our local government reform model. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your Prime Minister's vision for local government reform. And he is driving it from the top. And he will make local government reform happen, making it real. Further than that, why I give you the commitment that local government reform will happen. Because the last time I checked, the PNM is in government. And we plan to stay here for many, many more years to come. It is not a question, as the UNC wants us to believe, that if local government reform is going to happen. It is going to happen. It is happening. And it will continue to happen in a focused way until all our objectives are met. Here is one. I saw in a newspaper article yesterday where Kamla Prasad Bisesa is quoted as saying that after the local government election, you will hear nothing from the PNM again on local government reform. Kamla Prasad Visesa, I want to tell you here this afternoon that you do not speak on behalf of the PNM. After the election victory of 2010, I was appointed Minister of Rural Development and Local Government with specific instructions from the Prime Minister to proceed post-haste with the local government reform agenda. We immediately set up two committees, a ministerial committee headed by the Minister of Local Government and a technical committee headed by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Included in that technical committee was three of the most knowledgeable gentlemen of the PNM in local government. And today I want to especially thank those three gentlemen who worked tirelessly on the committee. They are His Worship the Mayor of Point Fortin, Mr. Clyde Paul, Mr. Anthony Roberts, the current chairman of the Sawa Lavantil Regional Corporation, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, the man who I call the quintessential local government representative, all the way from Toko Fishing Pond, Martin Terry Ronda. We held 15 consultations, 14 in Trinidad and 1 in Tobago. We outlined our basic plan and the embryo concepts that we had. However, we reached out to you. We listened to you, the people, to get your ideas, your concerns. We wanted to know what you wanted to happen, and we listened. Based on those consultations, we prepared a local government draft policy paper, which was approved by Cabinet, and it is now official government policy. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, the legislation is now being drafted by the Office of the Attorney General to implement this local government reform. So, ladies and gentlemen, based on what I have just said, the local government reform is not specifically a PNM plan. It is a national Trinidad and Tobago plan. So I want to tell you, if it is so, let's show the people of Trinidad that in this election, the PNM is going to make it real, and you're going to put your ex by the Balize on Monday. Let me now summarize for you the basic components of this plan. On the governance side, we will be doing three things. First and foremost, councillors, aldermen, mayors and chairmen of regional corporation will be full-time and be appropriately compensated. Secondly, local government corporations will be given executive authority similar to what is going on now at the Tobago House of Assembly. And thirdly, term limits will be increased from 3 to 4 years. On the funding side, local government corporations will be allowed to collect, retain, and spend all property taxes collected within their region. The deficit then, if there is any, will be topped up by central government. On the service delivery side, local government reform and the local government authorities will continue to be responsible for public health, for the repairs of minor roads and water courses, for the municipal police. And you are all hearing on the campaign that we will be recruiting 100 police per corporation, bringing the municipal police strength to 1,400 municipal policies operating in your specific area, coming from your community. But we will be giving them expanded new roles. On the social service delivery side, we will be handing over the authority for social service delivery to your councillors. Who is better prepared to understand the family that is exposed to extreme poverty? That the old lady who needs her old age pension, isn't it your counselor? We will be developing small contractors, and we will introduce the concept of regional contracting, so that if you are from Sandy Grande and the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation is building a box drain, for heaven's sake, let the contractor be from Sandy Grande. Because he will be employing Sandy Grande people. And the Sandy Grande people will buy their groceries in a Sandy Grande grocery. And they will drink their beer on a Friday in a Sandy Grande bar. That is what empowerment is all about. Local government corporation will be given the responsibility to repair and maintain schools, all schools, primary and secondary, and community centers. Who is better prepared to undertake that task? Not the regional corporation. Once this plan is implemented, there will no longer be the scare that when school is open, your child may or may not have a school to attend. We will also give the local government corporations an opportunity to invest and to implement local tourism projects. That has tremendous potential for a lot of the corporations. They can develop their own tourism site and market their own areas as a tourist attraction. So ladies and gentlemen, the local government corporations will be given additional responsibility in the terms of the town and country planning process. They will now have the authority to grant approvals for dwelling houses and for small developments not exceeding 20 lots. We will also be implementing a new administrative structure in the corporation because as we speak, they are very much understaffed. And we will be filling those vacancies with the same bright young people that Gate is paying for at the University of the West Indies and the University of Trinidad and Tobago. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Local government reform, making it real. Do you support local government reform, Red Army? Well, a vote for the PNM is a vote for local government reform. And a vote for local government reform is a vote for the PNM. Over the last month, ladies and gentlemen, night after night, meeting after meeting, Dr. Rowley, myself, and all our platform speakers have been preaching the mantle of local government reform, a clear and articulate vision for the future. What did the UNC have to say? Absolutely nothing. They brought nothing of substance to this campaign. And now their only talk and their only agenda item is the roti war. But Kamla Prasad Bisesa, I want to tell you here this evening, the PNM is fighting no roti war with you. We are fighting you in an election war. We fought you in an election war in 2015 and we beat you good and proper. We're fighting you in a local government election war and come Monday the 28th, we will beat you again good and proper. And come January 2017, in the THA election war, we will beat you one more time, good and proper. But Kamla Prasad Bisesa, if you still insist on a roti war, I have confidence in the PNM as your party chairman. If you want a roti war, we will beat you in that too. And after not supporting any aspect of local government reform since this campaign began, the UNC miraculously comes up about 2 days ago with what they call their local government election manifesto. Now saying that they will support local government reform, their type of reform. But hear this, their reform will not require any legislative changes. This country is run by the written law. Local government bodies are governed by the Municipal Corporation Act and the Exchequer and Audit Act. You must amend these pieces of legislation to provide the changes that you require. I am putting it to Suraj Rambachan and Bo Tiwari, the little goat here, beard man. Bo Tiwari and Suraj Rambachan, if they have no intention of amending the Municipal Corporation Act, they are not talking about reform. Story done. Don't even listen to them. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the UNC is clueless. The UNC is baseless. The UNC is devoid of ideas and devoid of any robust policy at the national level. Right now, I also think they are leaderless. So pay no attention to them in the UNC. Trinidad and Tobago, those of you here and those listening on the airwaves and on the television, we offer you a superior party with a history and a proud history of 60 long years. We offer you a great leader and a visionary prime minister in the person of Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. And we offer you a local government reform agenda that is second to none by any political party in Trinidad and Tobago. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, we offer you the best 137 candidates available to you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, in this local government election. In closing, my brothers and sisters of the PNM, the choice is very simple. We are the better party. We have the best leader in this country as we speak. We have the best 137 candidates in this local government election. So, my PNM brothers and sisters, local government reform, let's make it real. And on election night, the election night that we celebrate every Monday night after every election fought in this country, you will hear the cry coming from Balize House on election night. We want to hear the PNM rallying cry in Sandy Grande, in Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, in Diego Martin, in San Juan Lavantil, in Tunapuna, in San Fernando, in Point Fortin, in Siparia, in Pinal. Ladies and gentlemen, all over Trinidad and Tobago, on Monday night, the 28th of November, we want to hear the victory cry. Great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and it shall prevail. I thank you and may God bless you.
Focus on all of we reconnect and rebuild the community. Realize the reform is for you and me. Reinvigorating and reinventing our local democracy. November 28th, vote autonomy. For PNM, it's for you and me. Some months for beyond. For the children, we will break every barrier. Local government reform is our future.
Let's hear it for the cornerstone of this local government reform, our party chairman, Mr. Franklin Khan. My PNM friends, I want to ask those of you who are sitting on the platform to please remove yourselves from on the platforms with the cameras because you're shaking the cameras. Also, those of you with flags, can I ask you all to step to the sides, out of the view of the cameras, please. And finally, I want to ask you all to come a little closer. Just come a little closer to me. Little closer. Yes. You're looking good at the hard ground. Let's hear it for the PNM. Anybody here from Chagonas? We didn't forget Chagonas, don't worry. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on with the business of this meeting because we are serious about this local government reform.
Madam Chairman. Good evening. Dr. the Honorable Pete Christopher Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and my MP for the beautiful constituency of Diego Martin West. Officers of the People's National Movement, government ministers and members of parliament, fellow local government candidates, members of the media, members of the protective services, other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I have a question. Are you ready for the 2016 local government elections? Well, I am too. I am Akila Glasgow, the PNM candidate for Chaguaramas Point Kimana. And after you have voted solidly for the People's National Movement, I will be the first female to represent the area in over 30 years. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, our opponents are aware and frightened of our strength on the ground. While the PNM is advancing, other parties are retreating, and the so-called partnership has been like cheese, where the UNC stands alone. As we move forward, we will be the representation that our local communities need, because we are about helping people to help themselves. Although running for public office is new to me, make no bones about it, community service runs deep in my DNA. So I do not take service lightly. My mother, my grandmother, God rest her soul, my uncle, all active PNM service leaders. I am proud of their legacy, and I honor the family's tradition of community-based public service that they have instilled in me, that I will leave a legacy that I will pass on to my children and future grandchildren to ensure that this great political party, the hope of this nation, the People's National Movement, live on forever. Now, I know that all of you have checked your name on the electoral list. All of you have attended numerous meetings, motorcades, and rallies. So I am encouraged that as a people, you will come out in your numbers and make it real. Let's get rid of the UNC forever. When I came here today, I said I was going to tell you all about the fiasco between Chaguaramas Development Authority and the Guave Road Farmers Association. That was under a UNC-led government, so I won't talk about that. I was also going to tell you about the gross neglect of the Carenage Fish Market and the Carenage Main Road for over 5 years by the UNC administration. So I won't talk about that. I was going to tell you about how the government campus on the waterfront area was ignored and neglected under the UNC administration, but I wouldn't talk about that either. I was going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, why the UNC-led government left the country in such a mess that when we assumed office, we couldn't collect the revenues and taxes from our once buoyant energy sector. I'm not talking about that either, because that is big people talk, and I leave that for my more experienced colleagues to extrapolate. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, I told you earlier that I do not take service lightly. Well, let me tell you, the People's National Movement does not take service lightly. Our regional corporations will continue to assiduously address the problems of clean surroundings, as access roads, bridges, and flooding, and will continue to be first responders in any natural disasters. We will be first to get to the people. And those are really important issues. But there is a more burning problem that occupies my thoughts on a daily basis. That's the problem associated with youths. As I walk the streets of my community, I see our young people, male and female, standing idly by the corner. Some unemployed and some underemployed. Ladies and gentlemen, I say to you, not only as a local government election candidate, but as a mother, let's not lose another generation. As a personal development officer, I get a first-hand view of the needs of the people, both young and old. I must admit, I feel troubled, but not defeated. And that is why, when you put the PNM into office on November 28th as the representative for Chaguaramas Point Cumana, I will ensure that all my burgesses are well represented through focused lobbying of ministries, agencies, and interest groups. I must admit that I will give priority to young people as we represent the future of our nation. My aim is to put them in touch with resources that will help them to gain meaningful employment and build entrepreneurial capacity. But it does not stop there. I will introduce mentorship programs and community training programs that would help our youths to get it right. Our youths will get it right. But what does this have to do with local government reform? Well, let me help you. This is where our local government reform program will move jobs into your community by engaging local contractors. We will be going local, 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 local. This is where local government reform will bring professional counseling and much needed social work closer to the people to confront the issues facing our community. This is where local government reform will bring police officers closer to the people to collaborate with all stakeholders from a preventive and proactive position rather than a reactive one. On November 28th, ladies and gentlemen, when I am elected councillor for Chaguaramas Point Cumana, these are some of the issues that will engage my attention. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past few weeks, besides urging voters to ensure that they are registered to vote and seeking out new voters, I spoke to numerous burgesses from the Chaguaramas Point Cumana area, not only to urge them to come out and vote, not only to tell them why the PNM is the only hope for their community, but most of all, to take note of their concerns, especially around service delivery in their communities. I am confident, ladies and gentlemen, that our focus on local government reform will put people and their concerns first. Local government reform will support delivery of municipal services to the right quality and standard. Local government reform will promote good governance, transparency, and accountability. Local government reform will ensure sound financial management and accounting. And local government reform will build institutional resilience and administrative capability. Among the issues that we will be tackling more vigorously is that of ensuring more positive community experience for our burgesses. We found that one of the primary cause service delivery protests in various areas is a lack of communication between residents and municipalities. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that together we can deliver yet another successful local government win. To this effect, we would like to encourage all of you here today and all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to go out in your numbers to strengthen our democracy and vote in the local government elections for the PNM. Throughout my campaign journey, I was told, Akila, do not make promises, but I promise to collaborate with all stakeholders to address our issues, and I promise to listen. And like my political leader, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, I promise fair representation for all the people, whether you are wearing a yellow, green, red, white, or no jersey. But representation starts with a vote. Your vote. Your vote. Your vote. And so I am calling on you on November 28th to mark your ballot for the change that you want to see. The change that you want to see. Together, let's do this. And I will deliver, ladies and gentlemen, dynamic representation of the people that is value-driven, accountable, energetic, and flexible. Remember, my people, a vision is only a dream until it becomes a reality. Let me repeat that. A vision is only a dream until it becomes a reality. So on November 28, 2016, put your X by the Balize. Vote for me, Akila Glasgow, the candidate for Chaguaramas Point Yamana. Vote for all the PNM candidates. Vote for the People's National Movement. Let's make it real. And on Monday, my people, and on Monday night, when we are victorious, let us all shout, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail. Thank you.
Realize the reform is for you and me. Reinvigorating and reinventing our local democracy. November 28th, vote autonomy. For PNM is for you and me.
Chaguaramas Point Kumana, your next councillor, Miss Akila Glasgow. On Monday, the 28th of November, you, the people of Trinidad, will go out and cast your vote resoundingly for the People's National Movement. Is that true? On Monday, when you cast your ballot, you will be voting for a safer community. You will be voting for social services for your neighborhood from the people who live there. And you will be voting for better collection and disposal of garbage, because a cleaner community is a healthier community. On Monday, are you going to make it real? And so we move on. The PNM candidate for Superior East, San Francisco South, Miss Greenwich Charles, has lived in Superior all her life. PNM blood runs in her veins, as she is the second cousin of our country's Prime Minister George Michael Chambers. She currently serves as the Lady Vice Chairman of the Superior constituency. She is a proud mother of 3, and she is a live wire in her community. Anybody from Superior? She has worked with the Superior EnviroVest community. She is a member of the Faizabad Improvement Committee. She has been an adjudicator for the Prime Minister's Best Village competition. She is the chairman and co-founder of the Black Carpet Cultural Movement. And she is a vocalist for some of Trinidad and Tobago's top vocal artists. She is very passionate about her community, and she looks forward to the local government reform because she knows that it will help better serve the people of her electoral district. Eddie Hart Grounds, let's welcome Miss Camille Greenwich Charles.
I give honor to Almighty God this evening. Party Chairman, Mr. Franklin Khan, Chairperson for this evening's gathering, political leader, and the Prime Minister, the resilient Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley and Mrs. Rowley, party officials, members of the protective services, members of the media, and you, the Red and Red Army. PNM family, how you feeling this evening? This sea of red is a clear indication that Trinidad and Tobago is red and ready for local government reform. You've come out in your numbers today representing every constituency, every electoral district, and every PNM standard bearer to send a message to Trinidad and Tobago that after 60 years of service and dedication to this blessed Twin Isle, the PNM is bigger, the PNM is better, the PNM is stronger, and ready to take this country to first world status through its reform policy. So I take this opportunity this evening to thank those who went before me under the PNM banner for paving the way. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So allow me to manifest that text this evening and reintroduce myself. And I speak it forth this evening. I am Camille Greenwich Charles, the incoming and next councillor for Superior East, San Francisco South in the Superior Regional Corporation. Committed to my community, I've lived in Superior all my life and dedicated myself to its development. Now, Eddie Hart, let's talk some real talk now. What we really need in our country is honest and equal representation and a greater appreciation for its human resource. People don't care how much you know. They just want to know how much you care. And we, the PNM family, intend to do just that. The vision for our community must be clear. So allow me to personalize a little bit and say that the vision for the community of Superior must be one which ensures that burgesses of all walks of life are comfortable and have access to their representatives, as well as to all the services that are provided by the regional corporation. Additionally, greater attention must be paid to cultural and sporting development, as these play major roles in this constituency's culture. Local government reform will do just that. I often boast in Superior as a town rich in folklore and cultural heritage, producing people like Daisy Voze, Marshall Montano, the Growling Tiger, Mr. Shack, Deltones, Diatonics. In sports, we had Dexter Francis, Ian Morris, Marcia Demsoy, Josine Phillip. How many of you here ever journeyed to Superior years ago when Superior was the place to be in the month of April for the Feast of La Divina Pastora or Superimai or Superior Fete? All you know what I'm talking about. With the introduction of local government reform, we could revive that since-starved celebration under the United National Congress. And of course, encourage domestic tourism. It's the only celebration where religious bodies, Roman Catholics and Hindus, come together and worship the patron saint. It's a historical celebration in a historical community. Superior can now come together and decide through our councillor without having to go to central government what is best for us. Create employment for locals and provide the necessary training and empower you, the people of the communities. Maintenance of our community spaces will encourage our development. Our festivals will flourish more under local reform, and there'll be a reconnection with our communities. Then we could say we take a pride in our liberty. The PNM has already offered their depth of commitment to the citizens of this country. But there must be a willingness to embrace the change. There must be passion for the cause. You have witnessed over the last year the party's determination to overcome obstacles with the leadership of Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. Now it's up to you. It's up to us to make this dream real on November 28th. So I take this opportunity to call out the Red Army troops from the east of Trinidad, from the west of Trinidad, from the north and from the south. On November 28th, as long as there's life in your bones, give thanks to the Almighty. Go early to the polls. Vote solidly for your PNM candidate in every electoral district, for every regional corporation. And on that night, I don't know about you, but I will be in the streets of Siparia, the home of the great, great Daisy Vose, the undisputed queen of Parang. And as we are blessed during this Christmas season, I will be singing Alegria, Alegria, joy, joy, joy. And we will celebrate with the 9 incoming councillors, all PNM standard bearers, ready to reform and ready to take charge of the Siparia Regional Corporation. We will all be singing with one loud voice, and we will join you all the way down in south. We will join you, this big, great Red Army, and we will unite with one voice, sending a clear message to the rest of Trinidad and Tobago that great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail. God bless you.
Reinventing our local democracy. November 28th, vote autonomy. For PNM, it's for you and me.
Fire PNM power coming from Siparia. And we staying in the Southland. Anybody from San Fernando?
Rowley in Carnage last night, and she's graced us with her presence here at Eddie Hart Ground City. Akila, how does it feel being one of our spectacular candidates going into Monday? Tell us about it.
I must say it feels good.
Akila is doing a fabulous job. Akila, what made you want to get involved with local government?
Well, as a personal development officer and being part of a family that is always involved in everything that's happening, I decided that, you know what, why not take a chance? Why not help the people? You know, you have to be the change that you want to see. Our community needs change, and I decided, here's what. Let me be that change.
And people, that is what the PNM attracts. Young professionals like Akila. I have seen Akila. Everywhere Akila goes, there's a big crowd following her. They're all, Akila, Akila. It is wonderful. Akila, thank you. It's so good to have a young woman like yourself deciding to give service. And tell us what some of the things you're going to do for your community when you win on Monday.
When I win on Monday, the first thing I want to start doing in my community is forming a body of street captains. You know, I can't stay from where I am and see what's going on in someone's backyard all the time. So we need street captains where people can come to me. So there would be one person responsible for a particular street or area, and they would be able to be the person sourcing the information and bringing it back to the constituency office.
That's a great idea. I am looking forward to Monday. Get everyone out to vote, because without the vote, you're not going to be there.
Don't
Akila,
stay home.
Don't
stay home. Come out and vote. I have people telling me I already win, but you know what? I won't win until you come out and vote.
All right, here we pitch to the stage.
Beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and the leader of the People's National Movement. To all the office holders and officials of our wonderful Red Party, the PNM. To my fellow candidates, all sitting there so excited. And most importantly, to every single one of my PNM brothers and sisters, how you doing? I am so deeply honored to be representing
representing my community as a PNM candidate for Laissez-for East Sapero in San Fernando. Look at you, how vibrant, how passionate today. Your energy and commitment to the PNM continues to inspire me as we campaign together for local government reform. From the PNM's beginnings, under the leadership of that maverick, the late Dr. Eric Williams, it has been the ambitions, the hopes, and dreams of our people for a better life that has shaped the PNM's work. This was very evident when our political leader and Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley, started the path to local government reform with a series of public consultations to hear your voices and opinions and the best path to develop our communities based on your experiences. As a former alderman who served as part of the most recent San Fernando City Council, I was present at that first public consultation, which was held in San Fernando last December. I witnessed firsthand the huge support and attendance by you, our citizens. It proved to me how deeply invested we are in local government reform. The response shown by you, our citizens, during those consultations is part of the reason I submitted my nomination to run as a PNM candidate. At that moment, I thought of my father who taught me to give even when all you're giving is all you have left. And I know many of you share the same values and ideals that my parents passed on to me. During this campaign, I am constantly meeting citizens who share my passion for community service, and I am often amazed by the ideas, recommendations, and creative solutions shared with me to address some of San Fernando's challenges. The reality is that many of us are willing to serve, you know. We want to be part of the conversation for change, but many of us do not have an avenue by which to participate in the decisions that are made which affect you. I believe in local government reform as a way for all of us to have a greater voice in determining our future and greater power to your local representative to serve you. I love my city and I love my country, which is why I am so passionate and so grateful to be able to campaign for the very real and necessary changes that will take place when we vote for our PNM candidates and put them into office on the 28th of November. Our current path to local government reform is not the first time the PNM has led sweeping change in our nation. Thanks to the PNM, a new generation of Trinbagonians was born 60 years ago with greater access to free education, to healthcare, to social services, and better jobs. Today, our nation faces new challenges which now require a new and different approach to managing our resources and mobilizing our greatest assets. You know what that greatest asset is? It's you, every single one of you. You are our greatest asset, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to work together to ensure that we enjoy a better future. Today, our challenges require each of us to shift our focus, not on the external, but to our own internal individual capabilities and communities at the local government level. Today, for Trinbagonians to continue to progress, our government agencies, local organizations, and systems need to be faster and more responsive to keep up with the changing needs of our own communities. Our nation has outgrown a local government system we inherited from our colonial past. Our population has grown. We have blossomed over the last 60 years, creating more demand for services and social programs. As a trained social worker and a former junior secondary teacher,
I have shared in the struggles faced by social workers and educators as they wait for the necessary resources to be allocated and to make its way to them following central government approval. Meanwhile, how many of us know of disadvantaged children, a disadvantaged child, or a displaced family who has to wait or look elsewhere for assistance? Local government reform reconnects our communities, empowering our service providers to act faster, providing immediate access to the support and resources needed by our disadvantaged citizens in a timely manner. Our roads, our schools, our health centers and hospitals, oh God, our hospitals, will also benefit directly from the taxes collected by each local government body, allowing you to have a greater say in how taxes are allocated in your communities. That is why, that is what you are voting for. On Monday, the 28th of November, when you put your X next to the PNM candidate on your ballot, let's make it real. Let's vote for the PNM. It is your commitment to work together with us to see real change. Just over 2 weeks ago, now I don't mind nobody's business. We just mind we own business. But just 2 weeks ago, the attention of the world was focused where? On the US elections. You want to know why I'm talking about that? To most of the world and much of the USA, the election results came as a shock. Today, thousands are protesting or living in fear because they did not take up their responsibility to vote. Let this not be the case in Trinidad and Tobago. We cannot sit back. We cannot sit back and wish for a better nation or complain about your backed up drains that affecting your house foundation, about the long drive to get to a government office to access services, or the need for more jobs in our districts. If we are not ready to be responsible citizens and exercise our right to vote on Monday, we have no right to complain. Your commitment to local government reform is a clear signal of a mature society working for true democracy and the empowerment of our people. Will there be challenge? Let me hear you. Will there be challenge? Yes. Do we all have to work hard? Let me hear you again, man. Do we all have to work hard? Yes. Can we risk our future by resisting this change? Let me hear it together. Say no. Because in facing our challenges in implementing local government reform, we are also creating new opportunities for economic growth and a better functioning society. On Monday, the 28th of November, we have the opportunity, and more importantly, we have the responsibility to lead a new phase of independence and social change for our nation. Let's make it real. Choose to lead the change. Vote for the PNM. Choose the Balize, because as one of our best speakers, the main speaker to come, our political leader and Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, has demonstrated to us time and time again, leaders don't wait. They shape their own frontiers. The bigger the challenge, the greater the opportunity. So join with me now. Raise your voices. Let the whole world know we are here. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And on Monday, 20th November, we shall prevail.
Reinventing our local democracy. November 28th, vote autonomy. For PNM is for you and me.
There we've had it again, Sarah. Yet another powerful speaker. Tell us some of what we've been hearing here this afternoon.
Well, the chairman of the party, he touched on the three fundamental aspects of local government reform. And I want to reiterate those points. It's autonomy, it's transparency, and accountability. And those are three aspects that people were really focusing on. And this reform is addressing those issues. And we're going to hear from the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, in a little while.
That's right. We'll have Dr. Rowley making his way to stage
Yes.
in a short while, Sarah. In the meantime, we've been hearing from some of the local government candidates what it is they plan to do for their various burgesses in their various electoral districts. Remember, you're coming out on Monday to vote for something. You're coming out on Monday to vote for local government reform.
That's right. You're voting for a change that you can feel. You're voting for a change that is real. All right. And earlier we discussed the local government reform and how it can benefit and how it will benefit the different corporations and each individual person in Trinidad and Tobago. So why not? Why not come out and vote on November 28th, which is Monday, this Monday, for a change that you can feel. You're voting for the People's National Movement.
That's right, Sarah. One of our big points is every corporation is going to have 100 municipal police who are going to be doing community policing. So we expect this to impact on crime. We expect this to help us in our fight against crime, but also to bring back community policing, where the police in your area know you. And to bring back, as we've been saying, Sarah, that you have the power now on the ground in your neighborhoods to get done things that need to get done.
That's right, and I also want to touch on the social issues of the reform as well, because with social issues, now the corporations and the councils, they have the autonomy to go directly and assist these persons. Those persons can come directly to the corporations and get assistance. So it's less bureaucracy because now the councillors, they have more power to assist their community, their corporation, all right? So you have to understand the importance of local government reform that the People's National Movement has put forward. And it's not just a plan for the PNM, but it's a plan for Trinidad and Tobago. We need to understand the importance of local government elections. And I need to reiterate that point. And under this local government reform that the PNM has put forward, it brings the citizens closer to the government, and that's important.
And let's go to the stage now, Sarah. We have Peter C. Lewis as part of the entertainment coming up now. Here we go. Let's go to stage with Peter C. Lewis.
I believe. Say I believe. Say I believe. Whoa, na 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 na. Listen. We've come a long way together as a nation, standing side by side. Hey. Still a long way to go. We gonna get there, standing side by side. Listen. I see the faces, the races, the spaces, the places where we all come from. I see the Indians, the Africans, the Chinese, the Syrians, united all as one. We gonna get there. PNM people, put your hands in the air now. I said we gonna put your hands in the air. Somebody scream. I must believe. You must believe. We must believe. You must believe. I must believe. You must believe. We must believe. Oh, I must believe. You must believe. We must believe. Yeah, yeah. Say, I believe. I believe. Anybody here from the PNM? Okay. Twin islands left with a future, standing side by side, united with love for each other, standing side by side. Creation, a nation, a whole generation, where we all come from. The Hindu, the Muslim, the Baptist, the Christian, living all as one. We gonna get there. Anybody from the PNM, put your hands in the air, rocks in the air, flags in the air. 1, 2, 3. I must believe. You must believe. We must believe. You must believe. I must believe. You must believe. We must believe. Oh, I must believe. Where the PNM flag? Where the PNM flag? Everybody, put your flags
Listen, keep it.
We've come a long way to get there as a nation, standing side by side. Still a long way to go, we gonna get there, standing side by side. Philosophy, policy, integrity, prosperity is what we must stand for. Our liberty, society, variety, prosperity is what we must stand for. We gonna get there. Anybody voting on Monday? Who you voting for? Who you voting for? Put your hands in the air. I must believe. Together we as a nation. You must believe. We must believe. I must believe. Hey, I must believe. You must believe. We must believe. Oh, before I go, I want everybody put your hands in the air. Hey, one, we jumping. Two, we waving. One, two, everybody wave. The PNM, 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 PNM. We reforming on Monday. On Monday, who you voting for? The PNM.